Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Reese. Thank you for joining Tanya Hedgepeth and I, DPIE's Business Development Officers, as we review how to obtain a building permit and a use and occupancy permit. The permit division structure has three different divisions: Permitting and Licensing Division, Site Road Plan Review Division, and the Building Plan Review Division. For purposes of this presentation, we will focus on the building permits that are approved in the Building Plan Review Division, as well as discuss the structure of the Permitting and Licensing Division. The Permitting and Licensing Division Permit Processing Center provides residential and commercial customers with the information needed to submit permit applications and plans, screens plans, and distributes permit applications and plans to departments and agencies responsible for review. The center also issues permits for approved applications and plans and takes payments for permits. The Homeowners and Mega Projects Suite is where small residential projects are reviewed. This suite also facilitates the permitting and development of large-scale projects and answers general questions about residential projects. The Business Licensing Center issues business licenses and monitors and investigates items and concerns related to code compliance throughout the active term of a license. The center also ensures UNO permits are current and that licenses adhere to professional standards and operate in accordance with county code. The Building Plan Review Division reviews all building plans, residential and commercial, to ensure compliance with all applicable building codes and standards. The Fire Life Safety section conducts all reviews of projects that require a fire review. Beginning January 2016, fire sprinkler systems, fire suppression systems, voice alarm systems, and fire alarm systems must go through the third-party review approval process. The Structural section provides structural plan review and accessibility ADA plan review. The section conducts structural plan review for all small and large commercial and residential projects. The Electrical section conducts electrical engineering plan review related to the enforcement of building electrical and energy conservation codes and standards. The purpose of enforcing these codes is to maintain a strong commitment for practical safeguarding of persons and property from hazards arising from the use of electricity. The Mechanical section is responsible for the mechanical review of plans to ensure the public safety through the effective enforcement of the International Mechanical Code, International Energy Conservation, and Prince George's County codes. The purpose of enforcing these codes is to provide safe and comfortable environments in which the occupants may live, work, or perform recreational activities. The Health Review section conducts health reviews for plans submitted for the new and remodeled facilities, including food service facilities, on-site sewage disposal systems, wells for potable water supplies, and public swimming pools and spas. Additionally, this section conducts pre-opening inspections of food service facilities and public swimming pools and spas. This section functions are jointly coordinated with the Division of Environmental Health in the Health Department and DPIE. Before applying for a permit, there are several things that we recommend. You should hire qualified architects, engineers, and contractors. They should be familiar with Prince George's County permitting processes and building code. You want to make sure that they are licensed and bonded. Be sure to identify them on the permit application in the section that lists the owner, occupant, contractor, and contact information. Be sure to verify the permit receipt. You want to be sure your permits have been applied for. Know the timing of your project, financing, building schedule, and inspections. Time is money, and knowing these are important for the success of your project. Before delving into the permitting process, I would like to first start off by discussing a very high-level flow chart of the permitting processes within DPIE. A permit application is done online in ePermits, which will be discussed in detail in the next slide. Initial fees paid, which consists of 50% of the estimate cost of the construction, are assessed. Plans are then screened to determine if sufficient information has been included in the package for an engineering plan review to be conducted. If there is insufficient information, the plans will be returned to the applicant for revision. Your plans will also be reviewed by several different disciplines as applicable. A health review will also be required if applicable. If the plans do not meet county code requirements, then the applicant will receive comments back. The applicant will need to revise the plans and resubmit if the comments cannot be addressed within the same plans. The applicant will also need zoning approval from MNCPPC, also known as parking planning, before a permit is issued. Parking planning is a separate agency, although housed at DPIE. Once all reviews have been approved, final fees are assessed, which consists of the final 50%. Please note that all fees will have a technology fee added, 5% technology fee added to the fee balance. Once fees have been submitted and wet seals and signatures are dropped off to DPIE, the plans are stamped and released and a permit is issued. You must schedule an inspection. If over $200,000, a third-party inspection is mandatory. Schedule inspections by calling it in. Please have the approved plans with you on site at all times, and especially when the inspector arrives for an inspection. They cannot be with the architect or one of your engineers. DPIE has simplified the permitting process, and most permit applications can be submitted online from the comfort of your office or home at the following link, which is the recommended method as it streamlines the process. When the office is open, you can also visit the permit center and use the public computers. For simple tenant fit-outs, sign permits, and UNO permits, you may apply online and do a same-day walkthrough of the permit. For permits that need extensive review, such as large-scale construction or change of use, choose ePlan to upload your plans and track the reviews and comments. Due to COVID-19, the office is closed to customers. All applications should be submitted online. For those unable to submit plans online, plans and payment can be submitted via the on-site drop box. Payment must be made by cash, check, or money order only. Fees consist of an initial fee assessment of 50% of the estimated cost of the permit and the final 50% added on before issuance of permit, plus a 5% technology fee. For the fee schedule, please visit the following link. Third-party inspections, TPIP, are mandatory if over $200,000. However, TPIP may be required for some projects less than $200,000. It is essential to find out if you can operate your business within the zoning ordinance. The zoning ordinance specifies permissible uses such as residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, or mixed use, etc. The ordinance provides for the enforcement of private properties throughout the county, except in the city of Laurel. Applications must be submitted to parking planning. Parking planning also reviews the allowable lot coverage for property. All approvals are given by parking planning. You will need zoning approval in the following circumstances. If you want to build on vacant land, if you want to add an addition to your building, if you want to change the use of a building, and if you want to change the exterior of a building. When a person is required to obtain a building permit is defined by the Prince George's County Code. A building permit is defined as erecting a building, a structure, unless exempted under the building code, enlarging, structurally altering, moving, or adding to an existing building or structure, or excavating for any building or structure. Walkthroughs versus non-walkthroughs. A walkthrough is a process where reviews are done the same day while you wait. Non-walkthroughs must be submitted for extensive review, which is a 4 to 6 week review period. If your project does not qualify as a walkthrough, but a more expedited review is needed, optional peer review is available. As mentioned, there are several permit types that can be walked through and typically received the same day. Banks, general office spaces, carry-out restaurants, or small and medium businesses, such as barbershops, beauty salons, or optical stores. There are many permits that cannot be walked through. These include assisted living facilities, facilities with more than 5 persons, daycare centers, facilities with 9 or more persons, nightclubs, dance halls and auditoriums, spaces with live entertainment, assembly, mercantile, and educational spaces, projects 5,000 square feet or greater, business and storage spaces 10,000 square feet or greater, projects that involve more than one floor level, and commercial kitchen hoods due to health safety concerns. I will now turn over this slide presentation to my colleague, Tanya Hedgepeth.
I am Tanya Hedgepeth, and I would like to provide an overview of the plan submittal, plan review, and the permit renewal and extension processes. When submitting plans, applicants must submit civil, structural, trades, and site plans with the application. The preferred method of submittal is electronic. An online application must be completed to begin the electronic permitting process in ePlan, which can be accessed on the DPIE website. After the application fields have been completed, the applicant will be invited to upload plans as individual pages. This information is covered in more detail in the ePlan Applicant Quick Start Guide, which can be also accessed on the DPIE website. There are several plan screening requirements. Plans are required to be screened for all new residential buildings, commercial additions, and townhouses prior to starting the building permit application process. Plans are screened to determine if enough information has been included in the package for all engineering plan review to be conducted. Submittal packages that achieve a positive rating will be approved to enter the building permit process. Packages that do not achieve a positive screening will be returned to the customer for correction. The building permit review requirements include the submittal of the following: 3 copies of site plans, 2 copies of structural plans, 2 copies of architectural plans, 2 copies of mechanical plans, 2 copies of electrical plans, and a plumbing permit from WSSC. There are additional building permit review requirements, which include a health review. This is required for food, public pool, spa, potential air pollution, and property that are on private wells and septic systems. In addition, there is a review of fire protection systems, such as sprinklers and fire alarms. Please note, all plans need to be signed and sealed by a professional architect or engineer. In regards to plan review, our engineers review building plans to ensure compliance with all applicable building codes and standards. There are 3 aspects to the plan review process. First, there is a DPIE plan review, which is an internal review by the relevant sections in our department. The peer review program allows owners and applicants to select DPIE certified peer reviewers at their own cost to expedite the peer review process in lieu of county staff. Peer reviewers can be retained for various types of building and site development projects. The results of their efforts are reviewed and approved by county staff. Using peer reviewers can reduce the plan review and approved timeframe by up to 50%. DPIE has a list of approved peer reviewers. The third-party plan review is an expedited program where licensed engineers in the appropriate disciplines review the plans. This is also an optional program. It is at a cost to the applicant and is typically more expensive than the peer review program. DPIE also has a list of approved third-party reviewers. Please note, there is a mandatory third-party review for fire inspection systems. For plan review period and revisions, please be aware that it can take between 4 to 6 weeks for a permit to complete the review cycle. The revision procedure can extend the review process. A revision fee will be assessed for any building revisions. Please make corrections as required and in a timely manner to reduce the review process time. There are different plans needed for specific projects. Some of these include new buildings and additions to buildings. This information is detailed on the DPIE website at the links provided. There are several case types for commercial structures. For more information on tenant fit-outs and commercial interior and exterior structures, see the links provided. These will provide you with more detail than can be provided in this presentation. One of the most common permit types are use and occupancy. This is the permit needed to occupy the premises, regardless of construction or even if no construction has been performed. Businesses must identify and meet local zoning and safety requirements in order to be legally able to operate at that location. You must obtain a UNO when there's a change in tenancy or property owner. There is a method of compliance with the UNO. There is no grandfathering. This means that the property must meet the code regardless of what a previous occupant was granted or did on the property. There are several things needed with the submittal of a UNO application. These are the property tax ID, 3 site plans, the lease agreement or letter of authorization signed and dated by the owner. Businesses will also need to identify the entity's name and registered agent, and the letter must be signed by the authorized member. Businesses must also be registered in the state of Maryland. Note, if an occupant plans to make alterations, they would be required to obtain the owner's permission. You are able to renew your permits. Once a permit has been filed, a permit must be issued within 2 years of the application date or becomes null and void. Once the permit is issued, work must begin on the site within 6 months. Construction inspections are required a minimum of every 6 months to keep the permit valid. The only exceptions are for grading permits, which have up to a 5-year lifespan. You can also extend your permits. Extensions must be submitted within 30 days of expiration. Extensions can be granted for 2 6-month extension periods. Anything more than that has to be granted by the director of DPIE or his or her designee. Please keep in mind that with each inspection, it extends the life of a permit for an additional 6 months. And if the applicants keep up with their inspections, an extension should not be required. Here are some useful links that would help you during your permitting and licensing process with DPIE. It includes permit information, the fee schedule, online permit services, information on commercial building permits, licensing, as well as the state business license information. Listed here are several DPIE offices and divisions that will also be useful to you at any time during your permitting, licensing, and inspections processes. And finally, thank you. We hope this information was helpful and would like to again thank you for your participation. If you have any questions, Nicole and I can be best reached at the DPIE BizDev email or at the phone numbers listed. Have a fantastic day.